found out on a Tuesday afternoon, not from a confession, not from a fight, from a document. I remember sitting at my desk, staring at numbers that didn't make sense. Something had shifted, something that wasn't supposed to move. 12 years of marriage. One house, shared accounts, shared plans, shared future. Or so I thought. What I lost that day wasn't just money, it was ownership of my home, of my security, of the life I believed I helped build. He didn't scream. He didn't disappear. He prepared. Every signature was legal. Every change is documented. That's what made it worse. It wasn't a mistake, it was deliberate. And the moment I understood what he'd done, I realized something else. He assumed I would never look closely. He forgot what I do for a living. Before this, I was steady. My name is Lauren Whitmore. I am 30 years old. I work in finance. Numbers were predictable. Patterns made sense. If something didn't balance, there was always a reason. At home, I didn't audit anything. We met in our 20s, built our careers side by side, bought a modest house 5 years into marriage. We refinanced once. I talked about early retirement, agreed we didn't need children to feel complete. He handled investments, I handled budgeting and tax prep. It felt efficient. There were small changes over the past year. He became protective of his laptop, said he was reviewing portfolio restructuring. He pushed for another refinance, said rates were favorable. I skimmed the paperwork, trusted his summary, signed where he pointed. He opened an LLC for consulting. I thought it was ambition. Then that Tuesday, I logged into our mortgage portal to download statements for a routine financial review. The account was gone. I assumed system maintenance. I searched by property address. It appeared, only his name is listed as owner. I felt a tightening in my chest that I couldn't name. I pulled county property records. There it was, a quitclaim deed, signed by me, filed 8 months earlier, transferring my ownership interest entirely to him. I stared at my own signature. I remembered refinancing paperwork. I did not remember surrendering my share of the house. I scrolled further. A new line of credit attached to the property. Large, nearly maxed out. My hands went cold. I opened our joint savings. Lower than it should have been. Transfers, regular, methodical, routed to his LLC. I sat in my office chair long after everyone else had gone home. I wasn't panicking. I was calculating. Then I noticed something else. The mailing address attached to the LLC wasn't our home. It was an apartment downtown, active lease. My vision blurred for a second. He hadn't just shifted assets. He had shifted his life. That was the moment everything tilted. I didn't confront him. Not yet. That night he came home, asked what I wanted for dinner, kissed my cheek. Normal. Twist 1. The equity line had been opened 6 months before I found it. Withdrawals matched the exact amount of our joint investment account reduction. Twist 2. The LLC wasn't new. It had been registered 18 months earlier, before the refinance conversation even began. Twist 3. The apartment lease began 9 months ago. Utilities in his name. Insurance policy updated to remove me as beneficiary. Twist 4. A draft property listing saved in his email, our house, prepared but never posted. He wasn't reacting to something. He was preparing to exit. I met quietly with a real estate attorney. The deed was legally executed. If I could prove misrepresentation, I had a case. I replayed the refinance night in my mind. He'd summarized documents quickly. Standard restructuring, just rate optimization. I signed between conference calls. My own efficiency had been used against me. I questioned myself. Was I careless? Too trusting? Had I ignored signs because stability mattered more than scrutiny? I felt embarrassed. At work, I advised departments on risk mitigation. At home, I hadn't mitigated anything. The final layer came when I accessed the LLC financials through public filings. The funds transferred from our equity line were invested in a separate brokerage account. Sole owner him. Projected liquidation value substantial. He hadn't been reckless. He had been strategic. That hurt more than anger ever could. I gave myself 2 weeks. No confrontation, no accusations. I copied every document, timestamped statements, downloaded property records, archived emails. I hired a forensic accountant privately. His conclusion was precise: deliberate asset diversion under marital concealment. I sat with that phrase, marital concealment. I didn't want revenge. I wanted corrections. Filing first mattered, so I filed. Divorce petition citing financial fraud and asset dissipation. Motion to freeze LLC accounts. Challenge to the quitclaim deed under fraudulent inducement. When he was served, he called. "This is extreme," he said quietly. "No," I replied, "this is documented." I felt the weight of what I was doing. 12 years reduced to litigation. But anger fades, documentation remains. I chose documentation. Court-ordered disclosures began. He delayed, eventually complied. The brokerage statements confirmed the transfers. The refinance documents showed timeline overlap with LLC registration. Email records revealed summaries he sent me omitting key clauses. No shouting in court, just exhibits. The judge reviewed the pattern. Equity withdrawn, ownership transferred, assets concealed. The quitclaim deed was ruled signed under material misrepresentation. It was voided. The house was restored to joint marital property. The line of credit assigned solely to him. The diverted funds reclassified as marital assets subject to division, with penalties applied. His employer learned of the litigation through mandatory disclosure. Senior leadership roles require financial transparency. Promotion withdrawn. Internal review initiated. Quiet consequences. Friends stopped inviting him to investor dinners. Not out of cruelty, out of caution. Reputation in finance depends on trust. Trust, once documented as broken, does not recover easily. The divorce finalized 11 months later. The house was sold. Proceeds divided, with adjustments reflecting the concealed transfers. He kept the apartment and the debt attached to the credit line. There was no dramatic apology, no breakdown, just paperwork signed in silence. I moved into a smaller home closer to my office, one I purchased solely in my name. The first night there, I sat at the kitchen table with the closing documents in front of me. Every page reviewed, every clause is understood. I didn't feel victorious. I felt corrected. He thought legality would protect him. He forgot that legality also records. Every signature he used to erase me became the evidence that restored me. Some betrayals explode. Mine was notarized, and in the end, so was my freedom.